we cannot allow this ideology the safe space it needs to breed. Yet that is precisely what the internet and the big companies that provide internet-based services provide. We need to work with allied democratic governments to reach international agreements that regulate cyberspace, to prevent the spread of extremist and terrorism planning. And we need to do everything we can at home to reduce the risks of extremism online. There is, to be frank, far too much tolerance of extremism in our country. So we need to become far more robust in identifying it and stamping it out across the public sector and across society. So in light of what we are learning about the changing threat, we need to review Britain's counter-terrorism strategy to make sure the police and security services have all the powers they need. And if we need to increase the length of custodial sentences for terrorism-related offences, even apparently less serious offences, that is what we will do. Since the emergence of the threat from Islamist-inspired terrorism, our country has made significant progress in disrupting plots and protecting the public. But it is time to say enough is enough.
All right, shalawam. First off, I want to say all praise to Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS, and shalom to you elect out there pushing the word in sincerity and in truth. My name is Nazar Kad. All right, this is GMS Precepts, and as you can see in the video that I played prior, basically you had the Prime Minister of the UK or Britain basically trying to call for a censorship. All right, now in America or the US, it's basically the First Amendment. Now I'm sure they have some form of constitution over there in Britain where they allow people to speak freely, right? And they're gonna try to attack that. Now what does that go into as far as the scriptures? I've got a scripture here, Amos 8:11. That goes into the famine of the word, man. All right, matter of fact, since I have it here, I'll just read it. This is Amos 8:11. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land. Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing of the words of the Lord." So what is that prophecy saying? It's saying that there's going to be a time where you're not going to hear the prophets out there like you do now. Right now, you see the prophets out there on the highways and byways. You see them out there all over the internet. All right. Prophesying the downfall and destruction of the so-called white man's kingdom. But pretty soon, that's going to come to an end. Right? And you're going to have Esau, the damn devil, the so-called white man. The way they're going to try to end that is getting us off the streets. Matter of fact, let me get, that's another scripture as well. Let me get that in Isaiah, the 13th chapter. And then I'll go into the two articles that I have. This is Isaiah 13:1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. It says, "Lift ye up a banner upon a high mountain," right? That banner is talking about the scriptures, right? It says, "Lift ye up a banner upon a high mountain." That high mountain is a mountain or kingdom of Esau. All right, and it says, "Exalt the voice unto them, shake their hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles." Now, the gates of the nobles are the rulers of the kingdom. All right, and we're giving them, and this is happening now. We're giving them so much help through the Spirit, mainly spearheaded by GMS, right? Because you got them other flunkies, those other so-called camps that haven't been out doing that. So they're not even fulfilling this part of the prophecy when it says, "Lift ye up a banner upon a high mountain." They're not doing that. All right. It says, "Lift ye up a banner upon a high mountain," constantly cursing them out and telling them their future, which is future slavery, and that the so-called white man's kingdom is going to get brought down by who people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. All right. Sanctioned by who ignorant call God. All right. So the gates of the nobles are basically what the leaders of the so-called country or the so-called kingdom, and they're gonna you're gonna have people complain about us to the point where they're gonna want to get us off the street or get us off of YouTube. So we already see what Esau is gonna do as far as trying to shut us down, and that's one way they can do it, is getting us off the internet or getting us off the street. All right, that's why they're gonna try to attack in America, or whatever it's called. It's referred to as the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech, and I'm sure, like I said, they have something similar to that over there in the UK. All right, and so that's that famine of the word. Now, the two articles that I have to prove that whole shit going, that whole London Bridge shit is most likely, matter of fact, it's bullshit. All right. Now, America, they have something in their law that allows them to lie to the American citizens. All right, it's in the NDAA Act, right? National Defense Authorization Act, and it's labeled as basically called the propaganda law, which allows the U.S. government to lie to the U.S. citizens to push whatever agenda they want to push. All right. Let me just read this one insert in it, and I'll also leave the description or the this is on what Occupy Corporation. I'll leave the website address in the description box so brothers could check it out. Let me just read basically it says, I'll just read the first thing. It says the U.S. government has unbound and legal regulations against using propaganda against foreign audiences and American citizens. The intention is to sway public opinion by television, radio, newspapers, and social media, targeting the American and foreign people in control psyops. So basically, they can create a false flag event, all right, to sway people into allowing them to strip them of their rights. This one being their freedom of speech. Okay. So they can do it foreign and domestic. All right. They can do it in America as well as abroad to sway the American people. Now, UK, they do the same thing. All right, they're full of propaganda. I'll leave this website also, How Britain's Propaganda Machines Controls What You Think. And as you can see, the title of this picture here says propaganda control the media controls us. All right, and I'll leave this also. It says, I'll read this. It says on the one hand, just five individual billionaires in Britain get to control 80% of what you read and read in printed media. On the other hand, just 5 internet services providers get to control 87% of people get to see on their devices. Both are heavily influenced by government. All right. So this article here, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but basically it's showing you that Britain, they're down with the propaganda as well. So that whole thing could just be a ploy to get rid of the freedom of speech. And when you do that, you're gonna in a way get and when you do that, you're gonna allow this prophecy to take place, which is the famine of the word. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. I wanted to just touch on that whole situation when I saw that video early in the day. All right. So until the next show, shalawam.